I'm Sharon Spangler. Welcome to this Council Connection. My guest today is Council Member Dan Gustin. Welcome to our program.
Hello again.
We're color coordinated.
All right, yeah, I got the memo.
We match with the beautiful artwork behind us.
It is spectacular, you're absolutely right.
Anyway, I thought today we'd talk about Midtown. What a surprise to see just a packed council chambers for the recent Midtown Town Hall meeting. Were you surprised that so many people turned out?
I was too, in one way, that there were so many people, but I knew there would be a good turnout because the last time we had one, a little more than a year ago, that center section of the council chamber was full, and there were a lot of good questions, dialogue went back and forth. But this one, I guess I would say, it was you probably had to shoehorn somebody else in there. It was full, and that's really good because it tells you how much people care about that area, and they show it in the things they do every day. And then being here to find out what can be done, what they want to do, yeah, it was a great turnout overall.
What I was really shocked by the diversity of the people that were there. I mean, seriously, from all walks of life, all different professions. They really represented the business community, but there are also some residents there and just other, really concerned citizens that want to see that turn into a wonderful little community.
I think that's what surprised me the most is the residents that were there. There's a good amount of residents because I really anticipated it was going to be more business. We were going to talk business, we were going to talk sidewalks, we were going to talk street amenities, those kind of things. But when the residents got up, and there's some pretty good direction coming out of that too, because we're talking about standards for some of the residential community that would be between Wells and Plumas that incorporates that Midtown area from down where the old Vario's restaurant used to be, or just shy of Plum Lane to California Avenue, and then, as I say, from Wells to Plymouth. That's pretty much the Midtown. People focus on it being on South Virginia Street, but that's where the retail is, and that's where the businesses are, so that you think about that. But the residential people that showed up and talked about, the residents said things that they were looking for, things that they might want to talk about, I think was very good.
What do you think's going to happen? And I know Jessica Sferrazza was there. You two were kind of leading the town hall. She said she'd like to see a plan as early as October. Do you think that's feasible? And what's that going to take? And what kind of plan are we talking about?
Well, I hope it can even be a little bit before that, to tell you the truth. I know our staff is backed up with a lot of things, but we want to look at the options. What came out of the meeting, we want to look at streetscapes. What can we do there? Then we're talking about the standards for the community, the residential part of it. And then we get some more feedback as the direction that the merchants want to go in and what are they looking for. As I said at that time, we're not here to tell you what to do. We want to hear what you have to say, and we want to figure out how we can help you do that. Because the impetus that Midtown has right now, you don't want it to be squelched in any way, shape, or form, because those people are, first of all, they have to run their business, and that's difficult enough. And to burden them with any regulations, we don't want to do that. They have to understand, as I said, what the ordinances are and what the codes are, but we can see a way to work around that. One of the great things that came out about it, they talked about parking and where the parking would be available, but there's so many places now where there are drive-ins cut that aren't of use, and there are sidewalks that are painted in red, or excuse me, curbs that are painted in red that need to be eliminated and put in the cycle for parking. And I think that was a great suggestion, because it's kind of the thing you drive by, you take a look, you see these things, but do you really look? You see them, but are you really viewing what's going on? So that was a very simple solution, a very simple comment about how they can increase the parking by just taking a look at the way the cuts in the sidewalk are for driveways that don't exist anymore. But there are quite a few other things. That's just one example.
I know that you made the point that the residents and business owners in the area really need to use some of the city services like Reno Direct and code enforcement, because there were a few people that talked about the infrastructure, like the need for better sidewalks and parking, but some people were concerned about crime in the area, which I guess there's pockets of crime citywide, but you made a really good suggestion. Call Reno Direct, and then the gentleman that was there from the police department said, people really need to take some ownership of where they are and get involved in the process, because the police can't be everywhere.
And just making a general statement about being safer, we understand that, but it's pretty generic as to what you want to do. But if we have a record of calls that have come in for the 700 block or the 600 block or the 900 block, whatever it turns out to be, and it seems to be repetitive, then the police department will take action, and they will go there, they will take a look and see what's going on, see what they can find. But if they know what the actions are, and if there's some description of the people that are doing these things, it makes it easier for them. This is how they catch people in the neighborhoods all the time. You always have a rash in the spring of entries into homes and people breaking in, and more often than not, it's young people that are doing it who don't have anything to do, have time on their hands, or get out of school early. You know, there was a rash of break-ins in Collin Ranch between 3 and 5 o'clock. So that kind of led them to think, okay, who's doing this? Who's available at that time? And they got calls about a dark sedan being in the area. And within a couple weeks, they had found the perpetrators, arrested them, and it was taken care of. Same thing with Midtown. Let them know what's going on so that they can follow it up, they can have case files, they know what's going on, they know how to react to it.
And as far as some of those code issues, again, if they call Reno Direct can start a real formal process to have some of those problems taken care of.
Excuse me. Yeah, Alex Woodley was there, and he really laid it out for them that enough people don't call code enforcement. We've increased it. You know, so many things have shrunken in the city for staff reasons and budget reasons, but code enforcement, we've actually kept that solid and added some people to it because it's that important. It's a quality of life issue. When you have code enforcement and things are taken care of, it's a quality of life.
Right. There was some discussion of doing away with any future packaged liquor stores and maybe places that you could, drive up and get stuff out of a window, doing away with some of that, the drive-up stuff. I know that there was a suggestion maybe we need to get rid of tattoo parlors, and I thought it was interesting that this group of business owners said, no, let's let the free enterprise system take care of itself. Do you think that's part of the reason Midtown has been so successful? People were saying it sort of has kind of grown organically, that it's really a mishmash of high-end restaurants and tattoo parlors, Ace's hardware store. I mean, there's just some really cool and interesting businesses in that area. Why do you think it's been so successful that way?
I think there's really a desire by people to do business with mom and pop type operations, and I'm not putting anybody down or saying they're small, but the people that are working there are usually the people that own the business, and so they've got a vested interest in it. The other thing they're doing is, I think the attitude from what I have seen of the people and the mix, and there are so many different kinds of businesses that are there that people think, I think this will make it go, I think this will work, is they have an attitude of live and let live. And I think that came across to me as being pretty strong. Is again, if you have too many of one kind of business, if you have all dress shops, or you have all shoe stores, or if you have all tattoo parlors, or all packaged goods stores, none of them really will succeed because everybody is picking off the other one. And if you have too many of one kind of business, it's not good. It'll sort itself out, and I think that's where they're saying that the free enterprise system work on its own. It'll sort itself out, but we want to hopefully give them and help them with some guidelines of what kind of a business mix they should have. As you said, they've grown organically. They really have, because there have been people with original ideas and they put their heart and soul and their blood, sweat, and tears into it. And when they do that, they find themselves being successful. They work hard at it.
So we really all look forward to hearing about what's going to happen next for Midtown, and really appreciate all that you've done to really help that area of town.
Well, I just want to listen to what they have to say and figure out how we can help them, because we talk about tax base being eroded, the property tax has been eroded. So sales tax is a place that we can make some inroads right away. So as I said during the meeting, the better that you people do and the quicker you do it, you spur the sales tax. And the more sales tax, the better off the city is, and the revenue comes back to the city. So what can we do to help you be successful, to open the business and get it open when you want and not wait all that time? Let's go ahead and do that, because you, in effect, are benefiting the whole city by being in business.
Great. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here and talk with you about interesting things that are happening in the city.
And thank you all for joining us.